Welcome to the 8th lecture of module 2 on mass transfer operations. In this module, we are discussing interface mass transfer, and before going to the next lecture, let us have small recap of our previous lectures. In the last lecture, we have considered interface mass transfer, which is explained by the Lewis and Whitman two film theory. Lewis Whitman two film theory. We have discussed the relation between overall mass transfer coefficient and individual mass transfer coefficient. Then we started with general mass balance or material balance. To generate operating lines in different stage contactors. We have considered two different cases. One is steady state counter current operation and steady state co-current operation. And we have seen how to draw the operating line and the equilibrium line, and where the operating line and the equilibrium line lies with respect to counter current operations and co-current operations. So, in this lecture we will consider counter current multi-stage contact process, and we will try to see how to calculate the number of stages using the analytical equations, and one of them is Kremscher equation. We will discuss two different methods how to develop the Kremscher equations and to find out the number of stages in an equilibrium separation process or equilibrium contactors. The Kremscher equation is an absorption factor method. It provides an algebraic solution for analyzing equilibrium cascades. So, when we have a stage wise contact of the gas and liquids, we call this cascade arrangement, and in most of the cases it is very difficult to obtain the analytical solutions, but Kremscher equations is one such method where we can apply algebraic equations to analyze the equilibrium cascade. This equation cannot be used for every problem, but it is convenient for several cases, like if we consider dilute gas absorption when we set up on solvent free basis. So, if it is dilute gas absorption, the change of molar flow rate of gas or liquid after the contacting process are very less. The solute transfer from gas phase to the liquid phase or either in other case also from the liquid phase to the gas phase are less, in that case we can use this Kremscher equation. The other case is the distillation, where we can use for the extreme ends of a high purity separation, where the curvature of the equilibrium curve is not significant, because at the extreme end means when we are trying to achieving the purity of the product. In case of the distillation, we could see that the change of although from 99.9% to 99.99% purity we would like to go, and then this concentration change is not significant. So, the solute transfer will be very less, and in that case we can calculate how much number of stages required analytically using the Kremscher equation. So, in that case the equilibrium curve will also be a straight line, because there is not appreciable change in concentration. The third case is also for leaching, where you have a very slow process of leach out some valuable component. The process is very slow, or the solute materials are present is very low quantity. So, we can use this Kremscher equation. When the solution is quite dilute, say less than 1% solute in both gas and liquid, the total liquid and gas flow rates will not change significantly, since the little solute is transferred. This I have already explained. So, probably less than 1% solute contained in a mixture, the change of molar flow rate will not be appreciable. So, we can use the Kremscher equation. The entire analysis can be done with moles or mass fraction and total flow rates. So, moles or mass fractions and the total flow rate we can use, we can do the entire analysis. There are some assumptions which we need to take to use this analytical method of solving the cascades, equilibrium cascades. L or G, that is liquid or gas, total flows is constant, that is the assumption. Isothermal system, so the system will operate at a constant or at a fixed temperature, temperature remains constant at a particular temperature throughout the operation, which is isothermal. Then isobaric system, the pressure remains constant and negligible heat of absorption. So, heat of absorption should be negligible, it will behave like an ideal solution. So, these are reasonable assumption for dilute gas absorber and strippers. If we considered another additional assumption, the equilibrium line is straight. So, in that case, if this additional assumption is valid, then stage by stage problem can be solved analytically. With these additional assumptions, so our equilibrium curve will be straight and also our operating line will be straight. So, we can do the stage wise calculation analytically. So, we will discuss method 1. Refer to this figure, you can see that in this figure there are stages which are numbered from top to bottom. So, the top tray is 1 and then next to that is 2, 3 and so on, and finally, it is NP stage X capital NP. So, which is coming out the liquid from the top tray. So, liquid is entering at the top and coming out from the bottom, and then the gas is entering at the bottom and going out at the top. If we do the component A balance on this, we will see that mole fractions of the components in the gas and liquid phase are numbered over here. Gas which is coming out from stage 1 is numbered as Y1 and the liquid which is coming out from tray 1 is X1. Then the vapor from stage 2 which is going up is Y2 and the liquid which is coming down from stage 2 is x2. The liquid entering at the top at a flow rate of L naught and Ls is the based on the solute free basis the molar flow rate of the liquid, and capital X naught is the mole ratio basis and small x naught is the mole fraction basis. Similarly, the gas which is entering at the bottom is Y N P plus 1, it is entering to plate N P, and gas flow rate is G capital N P plus 1 and G S is based on the solute free basis. The liquid which is coming out at the bottom having composition of X N P of a flow rate of L N P, and then the gas which is going out at the top has a gas flow rate as G1 and with a mole fractions of Y1 or mole ratio of capital Y1 with a gas flow rate with solute free basis Gs. Now, referring to this figure, if we do the mole balance on component A, we can write the overall balance, component balance. So, L naught x naught plus G N P plus 1 into Y N P plus 1. So, this is entering L naught x naught which is entering over here, and the gas which is entering over here is G N P plus 1 into Y N P plus 1 should be equal to the coming out of that component at bottom is L N P into X N P, and then the gas which is going out at the top is G 1 Y 1. So, this is equation 1. Now, if we rearrange this equation, we will have L N P into X N P minus G N P plus 1 into Y N P plus 1 would be equal to L naught x naught minus G 1 Y 1. So, this is equation 2. Now, making a component balance over first n stages, small n, this n number of stages is anywhere inside the column from top to bottom. So, if we do a balance on first n stages, so we can write L naught into x naught plus G n plus 1 into Y n plus 1 would be equal to L n x n plus G 1 Y 1. So, this is equation 3, and if we rearrange in a similar way as we have done before. So, we will have L naught x naught minus G 1 Y 1 would be equal to L n x n minus G n plus 1 into Y n plus 1. Now, from this equation 2 and 4, so 2 is this one and 4 is this one. From these two relation, if we compare, if we equate them, so L naught x naught minus G 1 Y 1 we can substitute from equation 4 in equation 2, we will have L n x n minus G n plus 1 Y n plus 1 would be equal to L capital N P into x capital N P minus G capital N P plus 1 into Y capital N P plus 1. So, this is equation 5. Since the molar flow rates are constant, so that means L and G are constant, that is as per our assumptions, because the solute transfer is negligible and hence the liquid and gas flow rates remains constant throughout the column. So, with these assumptions we can write L n would be equal to L N P would be equal to constant and we consider it as L. Similarly, for gas G n plus 1 would be equal to G N P plus 1 equal to constant, which is denoted as G. So, from now onwards this liquid and gas flow rate will be denoted as L and G. So, this equation 5 would be reduced to L into x n minus x n p is equal to G into y n plus 1 minus y n p plus 1. Now, since y n plus 1 and x n plus 1, that is at any tray, if you take the components of the gas and liquid which is coming out from that tray, like in case of if we consider tray 2, the vapor or the gas which is going out, that is y 2, and then the liquid which is coming down from that tray, that is x 2, these outgoing streams will be in equilibrium. So, y n plus 1 and x n plus 1 are in equilibrium and the equilibrium line is straight. So, we can write the equilibrium relation y n plus 1 would be is equal to m x n plus 1. So, this is equation of straight line. Similarly, we can also write y n p plus 1 would be equal to m x n p plus 1. Now, if we substitute m x n plus 1 and calling A is equal to L by m g, a constant A. So, this equation 6 which we have derived before is L x n minus x n p would be equal to G y n plus 1 minus y n p plus 1. This would become x n plus 1 minus A x n is equal to y n p plus 1 by m minus A x n p. So, basically here if we substitute, these equations would be L x n minus x n p would be equal to G. So, we will substitute y n plus 1 would be m x n plus 1 minus y n p plus 1. Now, if we rearrange, if we just simplify, L x n minus L x n p would be equal to m g x n plus 1 minus G y n p plus 1. Now, we can write m g x n plus 1 minus L x n would be equal to G y n p plus 1 minus L x n p. Now, if we just divide with L m g for both the sides, it would be x n plus 1 minus L by m g x n would be equal to y n p plus 1 by m minus L by m g x n p, and hence we can write x n plus 1 and this term will be A, absorption factor, and then this is also absorption factor. So, we can obtain the equation 7. So, where A is the absorption factor and is a constant. Now, in these equations, the right hand side all factors are constant, because y n p plus 1 which is entering concentration and x n p which is exiting at the bottom. So, these are constant. M is the Henry's constant for absorption. So, these are constant on the right hand side. So, this equation is a linear first order difference equation and can be solved by the calculus of finite difference method. This is a linear first order equation, difference equation, and we can use the finite difference method to solve this equation. Now, putting equation 7 in operator form, it gives d minus a into x n would be equal to y n p plus 1 divided by m minus a x n p. Here the operator d indicates the finite difference. Now, the characteristic equation of this difference equation we can write m minus a is equal to 0. So, this is equation 9. Here we can write m is equal to a. So, the general solution it is little different than the ODEs. The general solution is x n would be equal to C 1 a to the power n, where C 1 is a constant. Since the right hand side of the equation 8 is a constant, the particular solution x would be equal to C 2. So, where C 2 is another constant. So, this is equation 8. For this, the right hand side of this equation is constant, as we have said before, and the particular solution for this x would be equal to C 2 and C 2 is constant. Now, if we substitute this into the original finite difference equation, so we will obtain, this is the finite difference original equation. If we substitute this, it would be C 2 minus a C 2 would be equal to y n p plus 1 divided by m minus a x n p. Now, from this we can solve for C 2. C 2 would be equal to y n p plus 1 divided by m minus a x n p divided by 1 minus a. So, this is the solution for C 2. So, C 2 we know, and then the complete solution would be x n would be equal to C 1 a to the power n plus y n p plus 1 by m minus a x n p by 1 minus a. Now, we have to obtain this C 1. To determine C 1, we set n is equal to 0, and then we can obtain C 1 would be equal to x naught minus y n p plus 1 divided by m minus a x n p divided by 1 minus a. So, once we get C 1, if we substitute in equation 13, we will obtain x n would be equal to x naught minus y n p plus 1 divided by m minus a x n p divided by 1 minus a into a to the power n plus y n p plus 1 by m minus a x n p divided by 1 minus a. So, this is the complete solution for this equation, and then we have absorption factor A. Now, we will consider this result is useful to get the concentration x n at any stage in the cascade, knowing the terminal concentration. So, if you know the terminal concentration, that is x n p, which is coming out at the bottom, and a y n p plus 1, which is inlet feed gas composition, and x naught, which is entering liquid. If we know that, we can calculate x n, that is the composition at any tray inside the column. Now, if we put n is equal to n p and rearrange, this will provide very useful form of the equations. Let us put that and see what happens. Now, in case of absorption, we will consider few cases. One is when absorption factor is not equal to 1. So, in that case we will obtain from that equation y np plus 1 minus y 1 divided by y np plus 1 minus m x naught would be equal to a to the power np plus 1 minus a divided by a to the power np plus 1 minus 1. Now, if we take the log from the both sides, then and then rearrange, we will get np would be equal to log of y np plus 1 minus m x naught divided by y minus m x naught whole into 1 minus 1 by a plus 1 by a divided by log a. So, this is the equations we can derive when for a particular case when the absorption factor is not equal to 1, and we can calculate the number of stages required for a particular separations knowing the terminal inlet concentration and the absorption factor. So, now for another case when the absorption factor is 1, in that case we will get this equation as y np plus 1 minus small y 1 divided by y np plus 1 minus m x naught would be equal to np divided by np plus 1. If we just rearrange this equation, we can get np would be equal to y np plus 1 minus y 1 divided by y 1 minus m x naught. So, in this case, knowing the inlet concentration of gas and liquid and the exit concentration of the gas that is the terminal concentration, we can obtain the number of plates and when the absorption factor is 1. Now, in case of stripping A not equal to 1, in that case the equations we can derive, that is x naught minus x n p divided by x naught minus y n p plus 1 divided by m, which would be equal to 1 by a to the power n p plus 1 minus 1 by a whole divided by 1 by a to the power n p plus 1 minus 1. Here if we take the log, then we would obtain this relation where terminal concentrations and known concentration and knowing the values of absorption factor and all these are known factors. So, we can calculate the number of plates required for the stripping as well. Similarly, like in absorption, in case of stripping absorption factor is 1, we will get the similar way, it would be x naught minus x n p divided by x naught minus y n p plus 1 divided by m would be equal to n p divided by n p plus 1. If we rearrange to calculate the n p, so from here we can write n p would be equal to x naught minus x n p divided by x n p minus y n p plus 1 divided by m. So, using these relations for stripping when the absorption factor is 1, we can calculate the number of stages for stripper. So, this equation 16 which we have derived here and then the series of equations for different cases we have considered special cases when absorption factor is 1 and when it is not equal to 1, both for absorption and as well as for the stripping. These equations altogether are called Kremser-Brown-Schroeder or simply say Kremser equations. So, these equations are very much useful to calculate the number of stages analytically in some special cases where the solute transfer is negligible or for dilute solutions. The second method which we are going to discuss here in analytical solution for absorption, which can be easily derived, we can just look into the graphs for a special case, we can plot them and from there we can also obtain the similar for some special cases where we can calculate the number of stages. Here the operating and the equilibrium line are parallel. Now, the distance between the operating and the equilibrium lines, that is delta y, that is also important. So, what is the driving force for the mass transfer over here is delta y, and that is constant over here. So, since they are parallel lines. So, to go from outlet to the inlet concentration and we have N p number of stages, then we can write N p into delta y would be equal to y N p plus 1 minus y 1, because these are the terminal concentration. So, this is the change of concentration from y N p plus 1 minus y 1. This is so, and it is happened throughout N p number of stages. So, N p into delta y would be equal to y N p plus 1 minus y 1. So, this is one equations we can write from this graph. Since each stage causes the same change in vapor composition, so the equilibrium relation for any equilibrium stage n, which can be written as y n, would be equal to m x n plus b. Now, we know the operating line equations we have derived before, is y n plus 1 would be equal to L by G x n plus y 1 minus L by G x naught. So, delta y can be obtained by subtracting the equilibrium equation 25 from the operating line equation 26 in terms of the mole fractions. So, here it will be mole fractions, this is small y and small x. So, we can write delta y n would be equal to y n plus 1. So, by subtracting equation 25 from equation 26. So, 26 is y n plus 1 minus y n would be equal to L by G minus m into x n. So, from these two, this will be x n plus y 1 minus L by G x naught minus b. So, this is the equation of delta y n for any stage n. Now, for the special case shown over here, L by G is equal to m, that is L by m g is equal to 1. So, then equation 27 it becomes this equation, this now becomes delta y would be equal to delta y n would be equal to y 1 minus L by G x naught minus b is equal to constant. So, combining this equation 24 and 28, we get this is 24 and then 28, this equation and these equations. If we combine both these two equations 24 and 28, we can write N p would be equal to N p plus 1 minus y 1 divided by y 1 minus L by G x naught minus b, and this is true or it is valid only for L by m g is equal to 1. So, this equation 29 is a special case of the Kremscher equation as we have derived before. So, this is another equations we can derive from the graph. When this equations is applicable, the absorption and stripping problems can be solved simply and accurately without need of stage by stage calculation. So, from here we can easily calculate the number of stages required using analytical equations. Now, let us consider the more general case where delta y, the driving force, is not constant throughout. So, it is varying, but the equilibrium curve and the operating line curve, they are straight line. So, delta y varies from stage to stage. The delta y values can be determined from equation 27 equation 27 is easier to use. No, this is equation 27, and from there we can calculate stage to stage change of concentration. From there equation 27 is easier to use if we replace x n with the equilibrium relation or equilibrium equation. So, over here is y n is equal to m x n plus b. So, if we substitute x n, then here x n would be, from this equation we can write y n minus b by m. So, if we substitute this equation in equation 27, we would obtain this equation. Delta y n would be equal to L by m g minus 1 into y n plus y 1 minus L by m g into b minus L by g into x naught. And also we can write for any other stage n plus 1, we can write delta y n plus 1 would be equal to L by m g minus 1 y n plus 1 plus y 1 minus L m g into b minus L by g x naught. Now, from this equation 31a and 31b, we can also write, if we just subtract 31a from 31b. So, these two will cancel out and we will be having delta y n plus 1 minus delta y n would be equal to L by m g minus 1 into y n plus 1 minus y n, which would be equal to L by m g minus 1 into delta y n. So, this is equation 32, and now if we solve from this equation for delta y n plus 1, we will have L by m g into delta y n. Now, this equation 33 relates the change in vapor composition from stage to stage to L by m g, which is known as the absorption factor, and it varies. So, delta y n plus 1 would be equal to L by m g delta y n. If either the operating or the equilibrium line is curved, this simple relationship no longer holds and a simple analytical solutions does not exist. The difference between the inlet and outlet gas concentration must be the sum of delta y n values shown in this figure. So, we can write delta y 1 plus delta y 2 and up to delta y n p would be equal to y n p plus 1 minus y 1. So, this would be sum would be constant. So, with this difference inlet to outlet concentration. Now, applying equation 33, we can write delta y 1 into 1 plus L by m g plus L by m g square and so on, it will be plus L by m g to the power n p minus 1 would be equal to y n p plus 1 minus y 1. Now, summation in equation 35 can be calculated, and the general formula we can use is summation over I is equal to 0 to k a to the power I would be equal to a into 1 minus a to the power k plus 1 divided by 1 minus a for mod of a less than 1. So, then from this equation 35 we can write y n p plus 1 minus y 1 divided by delta y 1 would be equal to 1 minus L by m g to the power n p divided by 1 minus L by m g. If the L by m g greater than 1, then divide both sides of equation 35 by L by m g to the power n p minus 1 and do the summation in terms of m g by L. So, if we do so, the resulting equations will still be equation 36, the same equations we will obtain. Now, from equation 33 we can write delta y 1 would be equal to delta y naught into L by mg, and here delta y naught would be equal to y1 minus y1 star. That is y1, the vapor composition y1 star is the value that would be in equilibrium with the inlet liquid x naught. So, these are equilibrium compositions. So, we can write y1 star would be equal to m x naught plus b. Removal of delta y1 from equation 36, no, which will give, this is equation 36, and we would like to remove delta y1 over here, which is given over here. So, we can write y n p plus 1 minus y1 divided by y1 minus y1 star, which is given over here, would be equal to L by mg minus L by mg to the power n p plus 1 divided by 1 minus L by mg. So, this is equation 38, and then the equation 38 is one form of the Kremser equation, and it is also called Kremser-Brown-Schroeder equation. This equation 38, which no similar equations we have developed. With different manipulations we can develop different no algebraic equations. For instance, if we add 1 to both sides of this equation 38 and then we rearrange, we will get no these equations y n p plus 1 minus y 1 star divided by y 1 minus y 1 star would be equal to 1 minus L by mg to the power n p plus 1 divided by 1 minus L by mg. So, many forms of these equations after mathematical manipulations can be obtained, and then we can, which can be solved for n p. If we do the manipulations, the n p equations would be, n p would be equal to ln 1 minus L by mg whole into y n p plus 1 minus y 1 star divided by y 1 minus y 1 star plus mg by L divided by ln L by mg. Now, L by mg, which is absorption factor, is not equal to 1 in this case. So, this is variable absorption factor where L by mg is not equal to 1. So, in this case we can obtain this equation. Now, let us take an example how to calculate the number of stages analytically using the Kremser equation. In a refinery, off gas streams is desired to remove 95% of component A from streams containing 10% A. The feed enters in the bottom of A of the column at a flow rate of 5000 kg per hour. The pure solvent is fed at the top of the column at a rate of 5000 kg per hour. Now, obtain the equation of operating line, then determine the number of trays required by graphical and algebraic method. The equation relation is linear, that is y is equal to 1.5 x. So, linear equation. Now, let us see the solution for this. The feed concentration is given 10% of A, component A. Now, on solute free basis, if we calculate Gs would be equal to 5000 into 1 minus 0.1. So, it is 4500 kg per hour. So, that is the Gs. Mass of solute entering is 5000 into 0.1, it is 500 kg per hour, and 95% removal of A is required. Feed concentration mole ratio unit, we can calculate y n plus 1 would be equal to 0.1 by 0.9, which is equal to 0.111. Now, exit concentration is 0.111 is the inlet minus 0.111 into 0.95 because we have to remove 95%. So, this is the exit concentration would come around 0.006. So, now it is given that the solvent which enters is a pure solvent over here, which is PET. Solvent is pure solvent, and so x naught would be 0 and Ls would be 5000 kg per hour, which is given. So, because since it is solute free basis, it is Ls is 5000 kg per hour, which is given, and material balance over the column, if we do Gs into y n plus 1 minus y 1 would be equal to Ls x n minus x naught. So, if we substitute, we can calculate the exit mole ratio capital X 1 would be equal to 0.9 into 0.105, which is equal to 0.0945. So, X 1 now is known to us. Now, if we do the material balance, then we can get G s y n plus 1 minus y 1 is equal to L s x n minus x naught. So, x n and x n plus 1 at any tray inside the column, and here x naught is 0. So, we can calculate or we can get a relations between y n plus 1 and x n. So, it will be y n plus 1 would be equal to 1.111 x n plus 0.006. This is the equation of operating line which passes through the terminal points. So, top is 0 and 0.006, this is the point at top, and the bottom is at 0.945 and 0.111, this is at the bottom, the terminal points at the bottom at the top. Now, if we use the Kremser equation over here, the absorption factor we can calculate Ls by mgs, which is 5000 divided by 1.1 into 4500, which is 10 by 9.9. So, which is equal to 1.01. So, absorption factor is known to us. Now, if we this is NP, the number of stages would be equal to log y NP plus 1 minus m x naught divided by y 1 minus m x naught into 1 minus 1 by a plus 1 by a. Now, if we substitute the values which are this is given, this is 0 and y 1 we have calculated 0.006, absorption factor we have calculated. Now, if we substitute over here, we will obtain 16 number of stages required for this separation. So, using the Kremser equations, we can simply calculate the number of stages required for a particular problem, but we have to be very cautious about the concentration of the solutes which is transferred and how far it is valid to use the Kremser equations. If the solute transfer is appreciable, we should not use the Kremser equation, but this gives only the rough estimate if you use the equation in case of change of concentration, change of molar flow rate of the gas and liquid. With this, we conclude for this modules, module 2, where we have considered the fundamentals of interphase mass transfer, and then we have developed the equilibrium stages. We will continue our discussion on mass transfer in the next class.